Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to A Podcast Orange. I am your host, Tom Crescenzo, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Jacob C. Seagull!
Oh shit, you gave away my full name.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Damn. I don't think anybody here knew my name was Jacob.
I mean,
Or maybe a lot of people.
I mean, it's not that... That's like saying, dude, I don't think anybody knew my name was actually Thomas.
Yeah. Well, Jack's not usually short for Jacob.
I mean, Jack, what else is Jack short for?
Sometimes short for John, which is
What?
Which is weird.
No, it's not.
Like John F. Kennedy went by Jack Kennedy.
Did he really?
Yeah, or
Maybe
like a
I'm
lot
just-
of some
I don't
people go by Jack for John, but that doesn't make any sense because
It's weird that Jack would be short for John. Like, John is already short for a name.
yeah.
That's like if I like
Well,
that's like
John
if
with
Tim was short
no
for
H.
Tom, like short for Thomas. Like,
Yeah, or like, well, Ted Kennedy, going back to the Kennedys, his full name was Edward Kennedy instead of Theodore Kennedy.
Ted. Well, I mean, Ted Theodore kind of makes sense. Like, that's kind of like
Ted
something
Theodore
like,
makes sense, but his full name was Edward, and he went by Ted instead of Ed Kennedy.
interesting. I mean, whatever. Regardless of your nicknames, I don't
this
think
is that
anybody was
interesting.
really that. Yeah, I don't think anybody's that surprised to find out that your full name is Jacob.
Jacob Charles Siegel.
Jacob Charles Manson. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. You're a little back to normal, just me and Jack this time. But
In
we
my
are
basement.
in Jack's house. Yeah.
This is like the traveling podcast.
Yeah, we go all over. I'm just sad we missed the second debate. I actually thought it was still canceled. I was pissed to find out that it was happening.
Hashtag cancel debate. No, I saw it, and from what I saw, Biden did not. It was not a strong performance, shall we say? I think that mute button actually in the end hurt Joe Biden. I think
True.
when Trump was abrasively like interrupting every 5 seconds, it kind of made him look like an asshole. But
Yeah.
here he seemed more like almost kind of somewhat like a normal human being.
Right,
As much
I
as
mean-
he's able to.
And I think what sucks is like they were probably, when they mute Trump and then they're like, all right, Biden, you have the floor. And then what he
Right.
does, he's like, now listen,
Yeah.
my back hurts.
He's not a great speaker.
Yeah.
I know he's got like a whole stuttering problem and he's...
I mean, it's not even the speaking. It's just that he it's more just his, because you can be not the greatest speaker. It's more just how he it's this sort of dazed and almost oblivious look in his face.
Yeah,
that
he
he
always-
has when he is up there.
He had that like confused look like...
Yeah, right. Like he's literally he's a deer in headlights. Like there's a car right in front of him, and he's just
He needs to go to get like speech
or
lessons.
he's trying really hard to take one of those Rocky old people shits, one of those shits that's literally like a fucking a beach rock, and he's just he's trying to push it out. And he's like,
I bet when Joe Biden buys something, his hand shakes when he gives the money to the cashier.
yeah, right. And I bet whoever's behind the counter feels really bad, and they don't even want to be like, oh, Joe Biden. They don't even want to mention it because they're just oh.
They're just like, "Hi, Joe. How's it going?"
Yeah, it's hi there, Joey. Joe. How are you doing today, Joe? Joe.
hello.
He's not
He's
not responding.
He's got to get speech lessons from Jeffrey Rush and the King's Speech.
Honestly, he should just and I'm not even saying this because I like Kamala, but they should just switch spots. He would easily be better at debating Trump than him. And honestly, and I'm not saying this because I like Kamala. I really am not a big fan, but the fact is, she would be a better president than Joe Biden just by the fact that she's all there. Mentally, she's fully capable and at full capacity. Joe Biden is at best at 80 to 85% capacity.
Well, the thing about Trump too is that Trump's technically not a good debater in the fact that
Of course not.
he just lies all the time. But he's able to make his lies sound convincing to people that are like, well, when you say it like that, when you're screaming shit into a microphone, you make a good point. You know, so it's
Yeah, right.
It's one of those things. If you say something loud enough with enough confidence, people will just believe you.
I mean, it's kind of like what his fans say. Whenever you talk to people who support Trump, they're it's the thing we've all heard. People listen, he tells it like it is. It's I guess I didn't realize telling it like it is basically just yelling really loudly about things that are not true.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, all you have to do is say false things really loud, and then people will claim that you're telling it like it is.
What if you? I bet those people, if they were like in New York City and they just walked by a homeless man with a diaper over his head, it was like, you know, the bees are crossing all the wars. But like, this guy, I like him. He tells it like it is.
You just see like a guy on the subway with no pants, and he's like, "I swear to God, the CIA caused the Holocaust." People are like, "There's like definitely gonna be one guy like."
This guy,
He's not homeless because he's poor. He's homeless because they're trying to get him.
The deep state is after
The deep
this
state
guy.
is after this guy, and he's hiding as a homeless crackhead with no pants.
Well, also, it's like, the thing, speaking of New York City, like, I noticed that Trump kept, like, describing New York City as, like, this hellhole. Like, we're living in Escape from New York, where it's just like there's crime.
It's really not that bad.
Gangs and fucking. You were just there the other day.
Yeah, I was literally just there last night for a show in Brooklyn, and it was a great fucking show. And like, it was outdoors and social distance, of course. But it's just like the city's the same, man. Like, I'll admit it. It's like there's definitely less people still because of COVID. But as far as people are like, man, it's like a war zone. It's literally not even close to that.
Talking
like,
about?
People are, if anything, people are chilling harder. Like, I was walking. Normally, when I'd go to the city to do open mics or just to go to the city for any reason, I'll smoke weed when I get there, but it's tougher to do it in Manhattan because there are generally cops everywhere.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, you get off the train and you're right by, like, Times Square and Penn Station, all that. Bad spot to light up. But, like, I get off the train and I'm like, you know, I'm in Manhattan and I'm walking to, like, I think I was going to a mic and I'm like, I'm gonna just basically have to get on the subway. Like, do I have time to smoke? Like, should I smoke around here? And then, like, I walk down this street. It was 6th Avenue, and there was literally just bums everywhere. And like they weren't like. Here's the thing, they weren't
in a line.
Yeah, like, just like a line of bums, like they're just lined up. And here's the thing, what I'm saying.
Somebody puts a ramp and they just skateboard over the line of bums.
Yeah, right. Like there's a bum who just looks like Johnny Knoxville, does a kickflip and then like lands on his balls on purpose. He's like,
jackass
on bum. Welcome to Bum Jackass. Oh, imagine Bum Jackass. It's like, I'm Johnny Knoxville.
And I need some money.
I'm Johnny Knoxville. And could you please spare some change? My wife divorced me and took the kids. I've been trying to go through the 12-step program.
He's like, I'm Bam Margera, and I'm going to kick my dad's ass all day. And he just starts hitting somebody and be like, that's a fire hydrant. That's
yeah,
not
right. And then then somebody's like, who are you talking to? There's not even any cameraman. Like,
my name's Steve-O. I'm going to eat this wedge of cheese out of the garbage.
Steve-O actually was homeless for a while.
He was?
He was legitimately homeless. Yeah, he was, back in the 90s, like, what Steve-O did, because you forget that these guys were all, like, kind of, like, sort of known on an underground level before Jackass. Like, they were all known from, like, skateboarding magazines and shit, because they were all skaters. But Steve-O was always doing crazy shit. Like, he would jump off bridges and stuff, but they would just film it on home video, and you just get fame through tape trading. Like,
somebody was like, yo, this bum, we should...
Yeah, like, yo, this homeless dude jumped off a bridge. I would love to go see this guy.
Yeah,
like,
we need to hire this guy for our show.
Literally, though. Like, that's basically... And for a while, he wasn't, like, living anywhere, and he was just, like, traveling and homeless.
Yeah, I mean, I could see... Well...
But the point I was trying to make, getting back to what I was
saying... I digressed into our little bit. But that's good. We got a bit down.
We got a little riff going, a little riff. But getting it back to what I was saying is, like, you know, I'm walking and, yeah, there's bums everywhere, but it wasn't dangerous or scary. Like, if anything, it made me more confident. I was like, all right, like, if they're all just chilling here, I'm definitely packing the bowl.
Yeah.
And I literally just smoked weed, like, walking on 6th Avenue, and, like, these dudes were all just, it was literally, like, a nice little community, and I was like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, they're hanging out.
Honestly, it was kind of nice. It was better than the old way.
Land. And, you know, you probably could get them high. You know? Homeless guy then just threw the bowl out after, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. You just give them the bowl, and you're like, they're like, can I have some money? You're like, well, no, but you can kill this bowl pack and have this bowl forever. Good day, sir.
Can I eat this? Like, what is this shit?
It's weird because that would be not at all what they need, but that would make me feel better than like giving them any change.
Oh yeah, they probably enjoy it, or it would give them like a realization. Somebody just smokes pot, and they're like, holy shit, I'm a homeless person.
Yeah, right. Like you just get high, and for the first time in like 15 years, you're like, wait a minute.
What the?
I could have prevented this 2 decades ago if I had just stayed in college.
I've been drunk for 15 years.
Dude, I'm not even 45, and this is the state I'm in. Like,
I need to get my shit together. I need to go to a temp agency.
Yeah, right. Like I need to fucking call my mom and see if maybe they can loan me some money. Like shit.
All of a sudden,
dude.
you solved this homeless guy's problems because you got him high. So
Exactly. All you had to do was give him a little bit of weed, and he realized how fucked his life was, and he turned it all around.
So give homeless people weed.
Yeah, give
That's
homeless
what we're
people
trying to
free
say.
weed and free pipes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, this is all in like the best case scenario.
Otherwise,
Like, there's
they
also the case where they just like use the pipe to like rob somebody. Like they
try hitting somebody with a.
they just try throwing a bowl at somebody's head. Like,
You'd be like, that kind of hurt.
it's like, ow!
Like that didn't. Really
I still
hurt
will not
that-
give you any money.
Be like that didn't really hurt that much, but like that kind of hurt a little
Oh, if it
bit.
hits you right in the ear though, it's like, oh.
Yeah, that would especially if it's like packed with fucking residue.
Yeah, but
Speaking of homeless people, you know who was Sorry, I didn't mean you were saying something.
No, nothing really.
You know,
I was
he's talking about homeless celebrities. The guy who's been in the news recently for not really in the news, but in like the fucking Twitter sphere.
Oh,
Chris Pratt used to be homeless.
Did he really? Was he?
Apparently, before he was like known, he was not homeless. He was living in his car, and he
Oh.
was like in Los Angeles before he's like a well-known actor.
Chris Pratt, more like Chris No Flat
Oh,
to stay at.
To stay in, 'cause
to
he's-
stay in
'cause
because he
he's
has
living
no
in
place.
his car.
Yeah, he has no flat. Like he has no place. Like you know.
More like Chris living in a Fiat. Not even a Fiat.
Chris living in a Fiat.
People were angry at Chris Pratt. I don't know why.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
what
give
is
a
it?
shit.
They're like, how dare you not be political?
Yeah,
Like, that's what it is. They were just like, he's not political enough. It's like, what do you want him to say? Like,
They're just running out of shit to get angry about.
like I don't understand. Like
It is-
what did Chris Pratt what could he have possibly done? Like,
I know.
Like he was literally just over there like, hey, I'm Chris Pratt. And everyone on Twitter was like,
Motherfucker.
you fucking piece of shit. How dare you not condemn
Well, they're
Trump?
giving him shit because he was like Christian. We're just like, what are you doing?
It's like, okay, so he believes in God. We're sorry that you have no hope. Like,
exactly.
like I'm not saying I believe in God, but I admit that it's because I have no hope left.
Yeah, like leave Star-Lord alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Like leave Xenu, the Scientologist, fucking whatever you call it, out of this.
He was the alien overlord.
Yeah,
that
the
took over
alien
people's
overlord
bodies.
that fingered Tom Cruise in the asshole.
They're really just running out of shit to get angry
It's just
about.
like, it's crazy how now you can literally, people can try to cancel you just based on the fact that you haven't said something. Like, people, because...
Yeah, it used to be you had to say something. Now it's you don't say something.
Yeah, right? Like, it used to be you had to offend a group of people or just say something, like, that's unanimously considered not okay. Now you just have to not say what people want to hear. And they'll just fucking crucify you.
How
for
dare
it.
you
Like,
not be exactly like me?
Yeah, right? Like, how dare you not voice the exact thoughts I have in my head that you have no way of knowing because you'll never meet me?
How dare you? Yeah, how dare you have opinions of your own and you don't parrot exactly what I'm saying?
How
And then-
dare you not want to merge your entertainment work with your political opinions? How dare you not become that type of entertainer because I want you to?
Well, it was all like the Twitter fags, right? And they were giving him shit about it, and then like Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo came to his defense. They're like, "Hey, Chris Pratt's a nice guy."
Yeah, right. Scarlett Johansson didn't say shit. She's like, eh.
And but then people were like, "Hey, how come they're defending Chris Pratt, but they weren't defending Brie Larson when she was getting attacked?" And I was like, "Well, Brie Larson was a cunt."
Yeah, there's a big difference there. Like the cunt level is just
So
significantly
annoying.
different.
Did you ever
yeah.
see that video of her? Like she's a great actress. I like her as an actress. But you ever see that video of her like answering answering questions about yourself on the web? You know how they have that like web series where it's like it has a celebrity.
What is it like? What's in my bag or?
No, it's not what's in my bag. They'll be like somebody Google something about the question. So it'll be like, okay, a fucking Halle Berry, and it's like, is Halle Berry, Jewish? And it'll be like, no, I'm not. And then, you type in your name on Google, and then the first thing that comes up is she asks. Brie Larson did one of those things, and she's just like insulting all of the questions, and she's like, really? You really want to know that? And that's where that whole meme where she's like, is this like a personal attack or something?
It's just like, yeah, I don't think you're understanding the game, miss. It's like, what the fuck are y'all trying to say? It's like, oh, okay.
You're not. This
Okay.
is just a fun little bullshit thing.
It's like, relax. Like, we're just trying to
We're just trying
we're
to have
giving you money to be here, but
we're giving you money to do nothing.
Yeah, right. Like we're giving you money to be Brie Larson in front of a camera.
You're having this is like adult playtime for fucking celebrities. There's no effort required.
Well, some celebrities are just so fucking entitled. That is why I kind of hate it when celebrities talk so much about politics, because it's just like, who the fuck are you? Like, I don't need to know, like if you want to say something or if you want to make a compelling piece of art or film or whatever that is political, I have no problem with that. But if you're just going to be like Bryan Cranston in an interview and just be like, yeah, you should just not vote for Trump. It's like, suck a dick, Bryan Cranston. The only thing I know you from is playing a meth dealer. Like,
whoa. What are you saying about Bryan Cranston?
No, I love Bryan Cranston. He's one of my favorite actors. But, like, I don't, like... My point is, like, I think it's very pretentious of celebrities to act like they can tell people what to think just because they are celebrities.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
That's
and, I mean, that's obviously people have said that. But I think it's a worse problem than it ever used to.
Well, that's
be.
why, like, Joaquin Phoenix annoyed the shit out of me at the Oscars last night.
Everybody should just be vegan.
Dude, that I was like... Fuck you.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Who the hell do you think you are, you fucking, like...
He came off like such a turd that night. I was so pissed off. Especially, like, because it was just like we're all, like, having fun, whatever, watching this fucking program where rich people pat each other on the backs for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And now he comes up and he's like, you know, it's really bad to drink milk. And I'm like, dude...
It's like, why don't you just fucking hang yourself?
Just
like,
fucking say...
either become the real Joker or fucking overdose on drugs.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Do what your brother River did and fucking die.
I mean, I don't know about close that.
I like River Phoenix more because he never did any of that shit.
Yeah, it's
and
like he was
Me.
the John Belushi of the Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly. And he was in Stand By Me. River Phoenix was the man. Joaquin is a fucking...
It's like, because that's why everyone appreciated, really appreciated when Ricky Gervais went on the Golden Globes and just came out and was like, listen, you guys, none of your views mean nothing. Like, you have no connection to the people who really live in this country. You know nothing about the world. Like, you're all basically pathetic. Like, yeah, he wasn't saying anything new, but it was just nice to actually see a real, like, almost A-list celebrity just say it. And, like, because he wants to. And I was like,
and here's the thing,
like, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to do it, either do it through your art or just...
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's my point is I appreciate someone like Chris Pratt who could just, you know, be a good actor and doesn't have to like
shove their opinions.
Yeah, doesn't have to go on Twitter and make a point every 2 seconds or like.
Those people are the most annoying. It's not even just celebrities. Like, you know who I saw comment who's like my least favorite person in the world about the Chris Pratt thing, who's like giving a shit, was your favorite writer Dana Schwartz.
Dana Schwartz.
I'm Dana Schwartz, and you shouldn't watch South Park.
Listen, my name is Dana Schwartz. I'm Dana Schwartz, and South Park is really outdated.
Kyle Broflovsky is not a good influence.
You don't understand. Eric Cartman makes it. You think it's okay to make fun of the Jews?
It's not okay, dude. Dana Schwartz sucks.
I mean, it's like just. To watch South Park, even for a second, and not perceive the irony is insulting enough in and of itself.
You have to be really stupid.
Like, you have to be a complete moron not to see what they're trying to get at with these things. And second of all, it's just like, yeah, like, you have nothing to show for it. Like, what have you ever done?
Oh,
like,
yeah, and if you go on Twitter, and this is not even just a problem I have with her, it's a problem I have with a lot of white women, which Bill Burr brought up in his SNL monologue, is that here's what, like, a lot of, and if for all you white women, especially you single white women out there, here's what you need to understand, is that hating white men is not a personality. It does, you know what I mean?
It's not a personality. In fact, really, it's part of black culture. So you're kind of culturally appropriating something.
But so many people have made that their personality, like their whole humor, their whole like sensibility. Every tweet from Danish, you know how sometimes you're on Twitter and like you have those people who you like, so you follow them. Like, I don't even follow her, but I'm just like, what kind of bullshit she's saying today?
No, you do have that. Like there's a lot of people, you see tweets, and Twitter does this on purpose because it knows, like most apps, like, excuse me, most apps generally use the algorithm to figure out your preferences and show you what you want to see based on what you like. Twitter's the only, this is partly what I appreciated about it, but also partly what's so sinister about it is, Twitter's algorithm is designed to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Twitter's algorithm is designed to
get you
get you to
angry.
react. Like, it doesn't care if you like it. It just knows what you react to the fastest. So it shows you shit that its nose is going to piss you off. And it's like, you're
such a
literally
troll.
standing there, you're like, why do I have to be the one who fucking see? Oh, yeah. Like,
Twitter
because
is
it
such
knows.
a,
Like,
Twitter's such a troll.
Yeah.
The algorithm is just designed to troll you.
like
into
Twitter
getting
will be
angry.
like, Twitter's literally like, and he like, this is like, not to be too much of a legion of skank stan, but like, have you ever heard the whole thing about that comedian like Seth Simons or Jake Flores and like that whole beef?
I know that Seth
Yeah.
Simons apparently says something that some people were offended by. I don't know what.
Well, I
exactly
mean, really,
was.
it does. Seth's there's a whole like story that you can go into, and really, it doesn't matter. Just all it boils down to is these men are adult children, and they're like yelling at each other on Twitter. But like,
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, it's like, I go on Twitter, and obviously I'm a fan of like the Skanks and Louis J. Gomez, so like, I'm just gonna back them up, like I'm, and like I read into what these guys are doing, and they seem like they suck, and it's like, yeah, fuck you guys. But then Twitter starts going like, Jake Flores has a tweet for you, and it's like, does he?
Does
now?
he?
Does he does he have a tweet for me now?
He's
and then
like, yeah.
it's literally just him saying like, I think everybody should give their children hormones to be trained, and it's just like, like I want to like break my phone.
Twitter is
like,
legit that.
he didn't actually. That's not a direct quote, by the way, of course, but still something like that.
But like Twitter is exactly like that guy in high school that was like, "Yo, I heard Mike over there was calling you a pussy."
Yeah,
It's
right.
just like that. Twitter is such an instigator.
Twitter's
Twitter's trying
a
to get you to
douchebag.
fight with people.
Twitter's literally like the biggest douchebag you'll ever know. And
They're
it's
just
like,
such a fucking instigator. It's a website designed to get people to fight with each other.
and it whispers at you because it notifies you when things just happen. Like, it doesn't even like notify you specifically when people like your shit. It'll literally be like, so and so tweeted, or just like, there's news for you. And then it's like
This
the
asshole
exact
said
news
this
you don't want to
bullshit.
see. Like, it's sort of like, there's news for you, and then you click on the news, and it's like, Trump fans hold rally in Suffolk County, and it's like, like that.
now it's like,
Fuck you. Like,
now I have to fucking say.
Like, if the social media, I like how you made that comparison about in school, because if the social medias were people, like, Instagram is like that, like, sort of vain chick who just tells all of her friends that they're beautiful, and like, it just tells you that you're
So
beautiful.
great.
It's like, you're great. Like, this is how great you are. This is what
Yeah.
you look like. This is
boring,
this is how many
vapid-
people have seen your story. This is how many likes you got. Like, this is how
boring,
great you
vapid
are.
person.
Yeah, Facebook is just like, hi, this is Facebook. I guess your mom's on here. Like,
Yeah, no, Facebook is that like guy
Facebook-
who your parents like, but you're kind of like, he's kind of boring.
yeah, Facebook is like an older guy, and like you used to hang out with him more because you looked up to him when he was like in his 20s and he was still like drinking beers and kind of cool.
And now
But
he's-
now he's like 35 and he's like settled down with a kid, and you're like, you still talk to him here and there, but for the most part,
You don't
really.
want, but your parents still like. He's like, hey, how's Steve?
But
doing?
every now and again, he'll get into a huge paragraph-long argument with
And
you.
you're just like, Jesus,
you're just like, dude, that's like a
don't you have
thousand
a
words.
don't you have a
gave me.
child to put to bed?
And then it's like, if you have something like, I don't know, what are the other social media
Like,
TikTok?
if you have,
TikTok. I just imagine a little Chinese girl just like, hey, look at that! Hey, look at that!
TikTok is not even in high school yet.
Yeah,
TikTok's 13 years
TikTok's just
old.
an 8-year-old Japanese, or Chinese, I guess.
TikTok
an
is the
8-year-old
13-year-old
Chinese girl who's just like throwing stuff at your face. Like,
TikTok is a 13-year-old that's like selling seniors in high school weed.
yeah,
You know?
right. Not even weed. It's like K2. It's like the fake weed.
And like Tumblr is like the alt, like the girls that would be like RAR XD.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then of course, like, you have
Nobody uses Tumblr anymore.
I mean, that's barely even a social media. But then you get to Twitter, and Twitter is literally just that kid who fucking likes to fucking poke the bear or just
Yeah. He's
throw
just
gas
a
on the
fucking
flame. Like,
asshole.
he goes up to, anytime he sees two kids beefing, he goes up to one of them and he's like, hey,
Yo, you hear what he said about your
did
mom?
you hear about like what this guy said about that guy who you know? And then it's like, well,
Mother-
I honestly, that guy's a faggot anyway. And Twitter's like, ooh.
Oh, shit.
And Twitter just runs over
I
the other
heard
guy.
he's free after school in the parking lot if you guys want to go at it.
Yeah.
You know, like
And then after a while, you go up to Twitter and you're like, hey, I'm from the New York Post. I have an article. And Twitter's like, not that.
Not
That.
yeah. But you
Not
know what?
that.
Before we get into that, the thing about Dana Schwartz because I really hate this person, is that
I really hate this person. This human being who we've never even met.
who we've never met. She might be a totally nice person.
We just harbor genuine hatred for her.
That's the only. I want to get into like a Twitter argument with her. That's the only reason I would ever want to be famous, is just so I could just get into arguments with people and then have like news outlets write articles that I'm getting into an argument. Like Jack Siegel said that this person's a fucking faggot.
It's like shit that makes like no sense. It's like, yeah, Jack Siegel and Dana Carvey really went at it the other day. It's like,
Garth
really?
was an asshole. You know?
Yeah, right. Like, yo, did you see that fucking Twitter fight between Jack Siegel and Jeff Foxworthy? Like, it's like, really?
You know you're a comedian when you get into an argument.
Like, fuck you, Jeff. You're not even smarter than a 5th grader.
You know you're a redneck.
You know you suck at comedy.
And it's gonna be like, you know, you suck cock when he takes your balls down to the root.
Oh, and then Twitter like flags you. They're like, sorry, you can't tell somebody they suck cock. And he's like, what?
Only that person can say they suck cock.
Yeah, right. Like I don't know. But yeah,
anyway,
getting into the other thing.
Wait, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the New York Post thing.
Yeah, so just the interesting case of that is like, you know, I think if you haven't heard by now, basically, the New York Post published this kind of sort of ridiculous, kind of goofy expose article about Biden, you know, just like in his son and their shady business deals.
Turns out
or
they
whatever.
69.
Yeah, it turns out that they like snorted blow off of each other's really hard dicks while their wives just watched and shook their heads. But
and he was like, Joey,
you're like, well, listen here, Hunter, you suck a mean dick if I ever saw one. But anyway. Yeah. So this article says a lot of things about, like, you know, Joe Biden's son and, you know, just the shady business deals he makes with foreign entities and, like, how much Biden knows about it. And obviously none of it is verified. If you read into it, it doesn't seem legit. There's a lot of holes. But regardless, you know, when the article first came out, it was...
holes.
Yeah, a lot of holes.
Hunter Biden.
Yeah, a lot of holes in Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden does seem like a man whore, though. Like,
yeah,
in a way, like you see photos of that guy. You see that the guy like keeps himself like poised at the beginning of the party, but by the end of the party, he's like he like wakes up. Ladies. He like wakes up handcuffed to a waterbed with high heels on, and he's just like,
how
oh
did
shit,
I wind
what?
Up here?
And then he like breaks the waterbed with his high heel. And
there's
like
some like Vietnamese prostitute like, you pay me money now.
Yeah, why you pay me? I know I'll rock you until you pay. He's like, shh, wait. Whose house is this?
I'm going to contact Russia and the New York Post.
And then Jeffrey Epstein just walks in. He's like, you should have paid, Hunter. You should have paid. He's like, Jeff, I thought you were dead. He's like shaking the handcuffs.
He's like, they can't kill me.
No one can kill me. And then he shapeshifts into Crystal Lee. And he's
because
like,
I'm everywhere. That's Jeffrey Epstein. He's like this omnipotent
He's just
presence.
an omnipotent being. He's like a vampire. He's just immortal, and anybody he touches becomes immortal too.
Jeffrey Epstein is God, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, we're trying to say that we pray to Jeffrey Epstein. Every night I say, "Our Father who art on the island."
I say, "Oh my Epstein" when something about like crazy happens.
Epstein. I say, "Hail Epstein."
Epstein, damn it!
So you ever have to do penance and you have like 10 Hail Ghislaines you have to do? Hail Ghislaine, full of young prostitutes.
Those Epstein damn people, you know.
But okay.
Seriousness. Let's go.
So the point is, this article is trying to suggest that Hunter Biden is a sketchy businessman and that Joe Biden knows about it. And Twitter basically completely censored the article, along with a lot of other social media outlets, but most notably Twitter and Facebook. And, you know, their argument is that they're trying to prevent misinformation and this and that. But now, since that happened, the government is trying to sort of introduce a measure that declares social media companies to be considered a form of media.
Well, who in the government, though?
I'm not exactly sure who. I believe it's probably mostly, like, right-wing.
Yeah, it's probably the Republican.
Yeah, but they're basically trying to present a law that, like, because you got to remember the reason that these tech companies can't be sued for censorship and things like that necessarily is because they're not considered media outlets. They're just considered, like, you know, companies of their own sort of existence. So it's like you can't really sue them for that. But if you can define them as a form of media, then you can sue them for libel. And that's the point. They want to take away their power to censor things from outside sources, which I'm not against, because I don't like how big tech has such a stranglehold on everything we see and everything we know.
No,
there should be some rules about what they can decide. But then at the same time, I read the Biden article, and it's pretty goofy. It's pretty stupid. It's a little ridiculous. Go into how stupid it is.
Well, I mean, the logic, and here's the thing. Like, I'm not a Biden stan. I mean, obviously,
Jack's like, I'm not a Biden stan, okay? I just have a poster of him.
I just pray to Joe every
I just
night.
put a photo of him on my sex doll.
I have a prosthetic Biden dick that I suck every day.
You got it from Spencer's Gifts.
I'm going to vote for him. But the problem with this article, right, is that, so apparently what it's suggesting is that Hunter Biden, when he was living in L.A., he traveled all the way to Wilmington, Delaware, where the Bidens are from, to drop off a laptop at a repair store. Now, think about how many repair stores there are in L.A. He dropped off a repair store that was owned by a legally blind man who also happened to be a hardcore Republican who memorized the name of Rudy Giuliani's personal lawyer. And
what, you haven't?
All
right, so Big Jack over here didn't memorize the name of Rudy Giuliani's personal lawyer.
Actually,
suddenly we're all below him, I guess. I don't know.
It's what's his name? It's Mark Rabinowitsky.
Mark Jewish last name. It's Mark Shabbat Shalom Goy.
Mark Yarmulke.
Mark Yarmulke Dreidel.
It's my lawyer, Mark Yarmulke Dreidel.
Oh, yeah, and he's just like, hello.
Hello. I represent you. I represent Giuliani.
He's like rubbing his hands. He's like,
I represent all the people. But so this legally blind guy also knew the fact that it was Hunter Biden and his laptop. And so he gave this information over to the Post. Now, I mean, that could have happened, or it could have just came from Russia, where they just, I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of things. Like, here's the thing about
it's pretty stupid.
It's stupid. The least stupid thing about it is the distance. Like, because like I was saying to you before, if I had a laptop that I needed to have repaired and I knew I had some sketchy shit on it, and I had money, I probably wouldn't want to do it close to home. I'd probably send it somewhere far away. Right. What's weird is that he sent it to the town that they're from. It's like, why would you do that? Like, that makes no sense. Like,
and he also apparently had a "I'm Hunter Biden" bumper sticker. Like that's what the guy said.
Yeah, just his car, just like, this is Hunter Biden's car. Yeah, it has a bumper sticker.
He's wearing on a shirt, "My name is Hunter Biden."
He has a hat that says Hunter Biden here. Like, and he walks in.
Well, also it's just like, dude, are we really going to go down that route? Because it's like, here's the thing. I mean, if you have a problem and you think Joe Biden's son is, really sketchy and whatever, it's like, fair enough. You got to present some evidence. But if that's what you think, okay. But then you can't also then support Trump, because his kids are like,
yeah,
there's verified, sources that they've made money while his dad's been in office off their brand. And they've done all of these sketchy business deals. And
anybody who's mad about the Biden thing should not now say that's why I'm going to vote for Trump. Yeah. Because you would be a complete moron if that was the conclusion you drew from that. Even if you, here's the thing. Hearing this whole story, I don't believe it necessarily, but it does make me look at the Bidens with a little bit more inquisition. But, I still just, when push comes to shove, it's like, yeah, the Bidens are pretty sketchy, but then the other side is just the Trumps. It's it's not like the other side is even like you can compare and contrast between who's sketchier, the Bidens or the Clintons, but you really can't compare with the Trumps. It's the Trumps are just a known shit show.
He created a fake college that he lost the lawsuit.
Could you imagine if you applied to that?
I'm going to Trump University.
It's just like, oof.
All right.
Look, man.
I'm gonna major in getting swindled out of my money.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna major in being a completely gullible moron.
I'm gonna major in owing student debt to the host of The Apprentice for the next 10 years. And also, he created a fake, and that's not just a rumor. He lost a lawsuit, and now he has to pay money. Like, this happened while he was president. That he lost a lawsuit that he created not only a fake university, but a fake charity that was just used to funnel money into his campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like you can't
say that Biden is any more
that's also not to defend. Like, listen, I'm not that knowledgeable about it. He might have done some sketchy
Well, here's
shit.
what I'll say about it. Like, the most true thing is like, and it's not really that like they're guilty of anything like necessarily illegal, but like the fact is, like, you know, Trump's son's businesses are sort of tied with foreign entities, and like there's some things that suggest that they may have tried to intimidate those foreign entities over people investigating them, which is pretty bad and sort of Trumpian. But like at the same time, like the point I really want to make here is getting back to the article itself.
Yeah, we're talking more about
why was it so hard for me to find this article? Like, I wasn't able to even find this on Google until today, and I didn't even find it from the search. I had to click through the New York Post until finally it was. No, you just told me to Google it.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole. Like, you're like, it'll be on the first page, and then I'm like, where is it? I don't see it. Like,
I thought it would be.
I literally had to click into a different New York Post article that linked to another New York Post article that finally linked to that article, and I found it. It shouldn't be that hard, especially for something that's so silly. It's like, why are we being censorship? Like, why are they hiding it? Like, I don't know.
I am the least in favor of censorship, just like I am the least racist person. You know. And
well,
that's what Trump says.
I like how he's like, listen, I am the least racist person
I am the least racist person in the room.
I'm less racist than...
He said that the other day at the debate. He said, I am the least racist person
I'm less racist than Joe is awake, okay? You gotta trust me on this.
And, but like, so, you know, I'm not a fan of, like, Twitter getting rid of the article. I mean, here's the thing, is like, that article is most likely all bullshit. But it's like, I don't really want it. And what's unique about this article as opposed to other articles that have been censored by Facebook or Twitter is usually when that happens, it comes from like, you know, the truthnet.org or some fucking French
or like
website.
The Mind Unleashed.
Yeah, it's like this is the New York
I used to see
Post.
kids like these stoners I know used to share like shit from the Mind Unleashed.
The mind,
it's
dude,
just
your
like,
mind's gonna be unleashed.
It's like top 10 conspiracies that are actually true from the mindunleashed.net.
This will blow your mind.
And your mind will be unleashed.
You can't imagine the truths
There's
that
like
happen.
smoke machines. Like, boom, boom.
Some guy comes onto the stage. He's like, "Are you guys ready to get unleashed?"
Yeah, like some guy with like a goatee and black eyeliner. He's like, "Your mind, it will be unleashed."
And everyone just starts getting rid, motherfucker.
And then like all of a sudden, a bunch of PowerPoint slides of just false articles starts playing, and everyone's like, "Yeah,
we're gullible." I mean, I have a friend like that who will like send me articles from like websites. He sent me an article once from a website called thetruthabout911.org. And I'm like, well...
Even as someone who believes in the 9/11 conspiracy, that's kind of silly.
It's like,
that's
well, and I said to him, I'm like, well, I mean, like, if it's coming from this website, it's got to be true. I mean, that's...
I mean, bro, like, what's more credible than that? Like,
but like, the New York Post is not one of those fringe websites. That's a major newspaper.
The thing about it is,
Dunkin' Donuts.
It's a major Republican newspaper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's a lot of New York Post articles that I see where I'm like, really? But then, like, at the same time, it's certainly not like InfoWars. It's totally legitimate it's as legitimate as CNN or Fox News is, which are both, you know, news sources that lie a lot as well.
Well, it's just
why it's just weird to me that, you know, because I get it if there's a chance for violence being like, if this article is like, you know, Joe Biden is guilty of like, you know, murdering 48 babies and must be like attacked by anybody who sees him on the street. I mean, you know, I'm saying I would do it. No, but if it was that, like if it was openly threatening him and like, that'd be one thing. But this is basically just accusing him of knowing about something.
Yeah.
That's really the only accusation it's making. It's not even really asserting that Joe Biden did something explicitly illegal. It's really just saying Joe Biden lied when he said that he knew nothing about his son's business.
And here's the thing, like, we're not even talking about the legitimacy of it, because like this article is so illegitimate that even people at Fox News wouldn't touch it. And
yeah, right. The fact that Tucker Carlson was like, "Come on, like I need something here."
Yeah, a lot of people, nobody was willing to put their names on this article.
But
so,
it's just like, even so, like, it's like weird that, like, if it's so not threatening, why do you have to hide it? Like, why is it so, what's with the knee-jerk reaction to hide it?
Because I think it actually gives, the thing is, like, it gives, like, those people, those, like, conspiracy theory people, more belief that, like, oh, this is true. That's why they're trying to hide it. They're trying to keep my mind from being unleashed.
Yeah. They're trying to keep my mind from...
Leash. They're trying to keep the leash on my mind.
They're trying to keep the leash on my mind. It's like a brain floating on a leash. And it's like tied to a pole.
It's like a dog just like nudging away.
And then it just gets like sad and like, it floats back to the pole.
I want to be unleashed.
I want to be unleashed.
But it keeps those people from like, and now they think like, oh, there's a reason they're trying to hide it, is because they're trying to keep us from understanding the truth.
I mean, I think the real reason is like Twitter's like, you know, I think it's half and half. I think part of it is like stopping the spread of misinformation. But then I also think part of it might be agenda based, because I've seen a great many false things, articles, assertions, quotes all over Twitter. None of that gets taken down.
Big way.
And like really just literally people tweeting like, you know, Trump actually like killed somebody and like nobody knows it. But here's a whole story that I quoted from an article in this like thread, and it's like, well, literally none of that's true,
there is liberal bullshit out there. Like, you ever see that meme where it says like, it's a quote from Trump from 1998 where he's like, if I were to run as president, I would run as Republican.
Yes.
Because they're all stupid, and that never happened. That was never. But I still see people sharing that quote.
Yeah, to this day.
And
like,
it's just
people
like,
share. It's stuff like that, and you see it on Twitter, and it's like, when it's like the little shit that doesn't matter, they don't care. But then it's like, when it's, I guess, like, because really, I think if that article came out 6 months ago, it wouldn't have even happened. I think it's just the closeness to the election combined with, tense. Like, you know, just the tensions of the times. Somebody at Twitter said, like, you know what, maybe we should, like, not allow this. Like, maybe it's too hot button. Yeah. But it's still just, like, it's not even that bad, like, what it really, like...
I think they're...
It is bad. Like, I shouldn't say, like, if what the article implied was 100% true, it would be bad. But I'm just saying, it's like, it's not like it's super, like, it's a ridiculous accusation for sure, but it's not terribly outlandish. It's not like he's accusing him of anything that couldn't happen. Like,
I don't think this article would have, first, I mean, it's out there anyway, but I don't think it's, I think
you can find it.
With the election, though, most people's mind, like 99% of people's minds are made up about who they're voting for, if anybody.
Yeah.
There's only like the most brain dead. I was thinking about this when I was watching the debate the other day. I was like, who is this for? Like,
like, does anybody really like sitting there like, that was actually a good point.
I want to find out more about this Donald Trump fellow.
You know, I never actually opened my mind to this Joe Biden's policies. I'm gonna have to see what he has to say.
Like, dude, it's for nobody.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's for like 5 dipshits. And every election cycle, the media focuses on the undecided voter. Like, they're just like some, like, wow, what is the undecided voter thing? And they interview these people, and they're like, well, I don't know, you know. Remember that guy like Ken Bone 4 years ago?
Ken Bone. Who was that again?
He asked that question of like energy policy.
Oh yeah.
To Hillary and Trump, and he became like a meme for like 5 hours.
Yes, Ken Bone. I forgot about fucking Ken Bone.
He was like, "What do you guys think about energy policy?"
I have to see this guy's face again. Hold on.
Ken Bone. He was just some like yokel, and like.
Oh my God, Ken Bone.
What is Ken Bone even up to now?
Yeah, right. Like, I bet he died from the coronavirus.
He got in quote unquote trouble because they found a bunch of like racist Reddit posts from him years ago after he became a meme. That's why you never want to be famous, man, because they'll just take you down.
The second you get any notoriety, they're just gonna come after you.
They're just be like, what has this person said?
I mean, to be fair, he doesn't look like a guy who wouldn't write something racist. Like,
he looks like Milton from Office Space. You know what I mean?
He fucking literally looks like...
He looks like he's about to ask me what happened to a stapler.
Oh God! Like, he looks like I don't even know.
He's a big fat guy.
He's a fat dude with glasses and a mustache. He's a very unappealing thing to look at.
Red sweater.
Yeah, He looks like he collects like.
But like for a
chia
day, everyone was
pets
like,
or
"I like
something.
this Ken Bone guy because he wants to know things."
It's almost like if.
What are you talking about?
It looks like a guy who watched the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix and now tries to go out with Siri based on that movie.
And then ate Joaquin Phoenix.
And then he ate him, yeah, and then he just ate Joaquin Phoenix.
And I was talking about being a vegan after that.
Yeah, fucking, like, honestly, shout out Ken Bone. I hope he don't
Ken
get
Bone.
COVID.
I hope he's alright.
Well, imagine you see, like, a video of a cop, like, kneeling on Ken Bone's neck tomorrow. It's just like, oh, shit, like, Ken Bone.
He's like, I can't breathe. And what do you think about energy policy?
And the cop's like, you shouldn't have, stop resisting. And he's like, please, I can't.
I can't.
I'm struggling. And also,
I'm Ken Bone and I cannot breathe.
I'm Ken Bone and I cannot breathe.
What would you do if Ken Bone now went out with Dana Schwartz as a result of this episode of the
Oh my
podcast?
god. They just start dating and fucking.
They send us a video of them hardcore fucking.
Oh, we release it as a sex tape.
and then we send it to the New York Post.
Oh god. Ken Bone and Dina Schwartz. They just fuck while she like burns a copy of South Park Imagination Land or something. Like
He's like, hey, I bet I can bone you.
and then she's just like, take me now. Like
That was the sexiest thing anyone's ever said.
she's
to me.
like, I have never been so wet in
like,
my entire life.
She just starts fingering herself.
Yeah, she's like, what? He's just like, wow, Ken Bone is a little freaked out.
Like she's like, well, it's about to be a fucking river in here.
It's like, wow, Ken Bone is getting horny. Like, I like the thing that he talks
It's
in
like a
third
robot,
person. Yeah, he's just like, Ken Bone has just had his coffee and he's ready for work.
and he's ready to get fucked.
He's ready to get fucked by Dana Schwartz. Or Dana Schwartz.
Dana. She honestly, the thing about Dana Schwartz though is she made this thing that pissed me off about her was she wrote on Twitter once. She was like, men need to stop objectifying women for their bodies, and then she like posted a bunch of photos of herself in lingerie to promote her book.
I love that. I love the sort of like feminist, like, I love the feminist but still sexy kind of thing that some women do. Where they're like, yeah, like, I'm totally feminist. I'm against all forms of the patriarchy and I don't believe in any sexual objectification. Unless I'm posting a filtered selfie on Instagram.
Yeah.
Then I'm totally 100% like actually trying to make you hard. It's like,
I mean, I would fuck her, like, not gonna lie.
see, I would fuck all of them. That's not the point. The point is like, listen, like, there's a point where you have to practice what you preach a little bit. Like, and I'm not saying, like, I'm okay with women acting sexy. Like, if you want to act sexy, like, I don't think it makes you a whore, and I actually think it's good. But don't stand here and be like, women shouldn't be objectified, and then post like a photo of your then post a photo of your literal ass on the beach with the only description being the fucking like. What is it? It's like that peach emoji or something. It's like, come on, how feminist is that really? Like.
And it's not even, dude, the photo she took was like, she was trying to promote her book, so she took photos in like BDSM outfits and shit.
That's another thing. Like, women are like, yeah, like, as long as you're into like whipping people, it's totally empowering to objectify yourself sexually. It's like, you realize these guys are still looking at you as an object. It's not like just because you're doing the whipping and that they're on the receiving end, like, they're still objectifying you. Now the whipping is part of it.
You're
like,
just enabling this guy's like weird fetish.
You're not now, instead of an image, you're partly a tool to this guy's really disgusting, freaky way of getting hard. Like,
do you ever have any friends? I had a friend like that in college who liked to get like spanked and shit. It was weird.
I mean, I've been with girls who like to get.
I'm not a judgmental person.
Here's the thing, like, spanking is one thing. It's not like, it's more just like the tying up and whipping or like belting
choking
somebody or like, or like covering their eyes with like a blindfold. It's like, it's a little too like kidnappy. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like the idea. I don't know why. It just, I mean, listen, to each his own. Like, everybody's got their own thing that they enjoy.
And I've had girls tell me they want me to tie them up, and I'm usually just like, I will rather not. Like,
you gotta sign this contract that he won't sue me.
It's like, as long as you publicly state on camera right now that Tom Crescendo is not trying to rape me, then I'll do it. Yeah.
But I mean, like, here's the thing. I'm not gonna shame anyone for their sexual, like, whatever. Everybody's into their own thing.
I won't shame you.
I personally just don't get it.
And I also just shame hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to hoe out a little on Instagram, then just admit that you're kind of hoeing out. Like, it's cool. Like, it's not like a fucking, like...
It's not like, oh, I'm so empowered.
But it's also
body.
not bad. Like, it's
No.
not... It's okay to be honest about it. You don't have to hoe out for one post and then compensate with, like, a quote from Susan B. Anthony on the next.
Yeah.
It's like, just like, be who you are. And, like...
Well, also, it's just like... And, like, there's nothing wrong with showing some skin and being like, I'm so hot and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, don't like, say, like, no, this is different because we're expressing, like, female agency.
Yeah.
Like, that's even, like, getting back
That's
to...
my favorite thing is where they're like, no, but this is not about sex. This is about bodily autonomy. It's like I can literally see the sides of your vagina in that photo. Like, are you sure?
Who is this for?
Are you sure? Like,
this is not for women to... Women aren't going to look at your post and be like, wow, I'm so inspired. It's going to be guys with their cocks out in a sock jerking
I
off.
remember one time my ex. It's interesting you say that though because it is kind of weird. Like my ex once showed me an Instagram page of these basically just like this fat, like not like fat, but like, you know, just a big girl, like a thick girl. She was curvy, like, but she was bigger, and like she would post a lot of basically nude like modeling photos in like nature spots. And my girl was always like, you know, I love her, like she's really, it's like super inspiring to me, and like I honestly think she's beautiful, like I follow her, and like here's the thing, like, you know, I guess it's empowering, and I guess women see that as empowering. But like after I broke up with her, I totally went back to that girl's page and jerked off to her.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not.
it's still the same shit. Like
It's not for women.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, like I guess it's cool if women see that stuff and it makes you feel good and happy. But just know that the same photo that's getting you through your day is getting me through a session of masturbation.
It's getting through a
like,
guy through 20 minutes of euphoria.
It's getting me through a single hour that I cannot feel like I'm dead inside.
Because that's even the thing we talked about, like, in a bunch of fucking episodes back of WAP when we were competing with Ben Shapiro as to who
as
by the way,
kid.
we totally fucking own Shapiro.
Oh yeah,
he's
of
not
course.
funny.
I mean, he doesn't have. He's not even close.
He's not good. He's not good at riffing. I watched it. I'm like, dude, you're like these. are like
Ben Shapiro riffing. He's like wet ass pussy. So what? I guess pussies are wet now. Like he literally said that.
It's like base level observation. Like I guess they're in a hotel, and this is like the cheesiest design hotel I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, wow, we're very observant.
Like wow, you looked at a screen and you said what you thought.
You
like,
saw a cheesy set and commented on it.
Go back to being smarmy on YouTube.
Honestly, like I hate Ben Shapiro.
Oh, I
like,
fucking
really,
hate
really
his guts.
Him, yeah,
I
hate
the
him
most
more
annoying...
than I hate like if Hitler was alive, I would be like, I hate Hitler, but Ben Shapiro.
You could kill his family. No, Ben Shapiro is like just the worst because it's you know what it is. It's just like there's even times when he's made points when I actually agree with him, but there's just like there's something.
It makes you mad, right?
There's something so smug about him and like so self-assured.
He makes me want to not agree with points that I agree with.
Yeah, because
like he'll say something, I'll be like, "That's a good point."
But you're such a.
Is it though? Come on, fuck you! Like
he's just he's just so smug and like self-assured and like he thinks he's got like this shit-eating look on his face like all the time. I just
like you know that he's the type of kid who would try to outsmart bullies.
Yeah.
Like they would be like, "Ah, what a faggot!" And he will be like, "Actually, logically, it cannot be me who is the faggot because I masturbated to Lisa the other day, who was in my biology class. And if you were in my biology class, you would see that I look at her ass every single morning. And then the bullies would just be like, dude, are you...
I'm going to go...
I think we're just going to go this way. I think we're just going to leave. Like,
I'm going to rethink some decisions.
I'm a little disturbed by what I just heard. Like,
but also, like, do you ever see that there's this video I watched? I saw this the other day for the first time, where he had this rapper named Zuby, who's like this British black guy.
Oh, Zuby, that guy.
And
I follow that. I think I follow him on Twitter. Sometimes he tweets things where I'm like, yeah, man, for sure. And then sometimes he tweets things and I'm like,
I
Yeah.
I didn't know who the guy was, but he had him on the show, and he was like, Ben Shapiro is like, okay, my father was a music. He was like he was a music major, or like he was
a music major.
He was really involved in music. I'm a classical violinist. Here's why I don't think rap is a form of music, because rap mixes. He's like rap misses there's three components of music, right? There's rhythm, harmony, and melody. Now, rap only has rhythm, so it's not actually a form of music. It's just a form of rhythmic speaking. And I'm just like,
what did Zuby say? Was Zuby just?
He was actually really like polite because he was on a show and he was like, okay, well here's why what you're saying is fucking retarded. And like he's like, there are actually melody and harmony, and it's like, well, what about? I'm thinking like, what about a cappella? There's no harmony or.
Well, a cappella is mostly just like
Or what about like there's so many types of music that don't have all
Well, I mean, it's kind of like to say that music requires three specific things. Like you're so wrong. Like there's so many different kinds of music, and
I hate to sound like this guy, but he really makes me hate white people.
I mean, he at least makes me hate a specific kind of white person that I grew up with. Like if you ever went to like a segregated mostly white high school, you knew these kids just these kids who were in like the Young Republicans Club, like just these kids who got bullied all from like 6th to 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then they found their squad in like terrible politics.
Oh yeah, and then they would wear a suit to school every day.
Yeah, right. Like or just like a button up all the way up and like fucking like tucked in shirt with a brown belt. It's like, dude, you look like just a turd. You look horrible. You look.
I knew
like you're
some people
insufferable.
I knew people like that too. And when I went to Malloy College, there was one kid like that. And dude, Ben Shapiro though, he was like, he's talking about weed once. He's like, I think weed just makes you stupid, and he's like, weed is retarded. He's like, I think it should be legalized, but I think that I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with not smoking pot.
But yeah, it's just like
the way you say it, I just.
It's I think it just makes you stupid. It's like, well, who the fuck are you, Ben Shapiro? Like, you didn't even know that women had wet pussies until Cardi B came out. Like
you've never made a woman wet.
You've
in your
literally
life.
never made a woman feel anything of any kind because you're one of the least attractive, least sexually stimulating alive things.
And he has a wife and a child, which is crazy. Like how would that be to just get boned by Ben Shapiro?
Oh God!
Like, oh my God! You see, my penis is actually in you, and right now it's getting really hard.
I mean, you've seen those things. Like, there's literally like videos on YouTube where people have like deep faked his voice, where it's just like, so hypothetically speaking, if you needed a spanking and I was the only one there to deliver that spanking, realistically speaking, and if you weigh all the facts, you would understand that I would be giving you a spanking, and you would be a bad girl. Now, if you are a bad girl, like there's literally, I have to find that video. It's great. But
my sister once.
You could fake Ben Shapiro saying anything.
I mean, yeah, well, yeah, no, my sister once pissed me off because I was watching an interview with Ben Shapiro. I forget who he was getting interviewed by, and my sister was like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Ben Shapiro," and she's like, "Oh, he sounds like you." And I'm like, fuck you. I was so pissed.
No offense, she nailed it.
I was just like, fuck you. So
you sound like if Ben Shapiro was an alcoholic. You're just like,
save that for
like Ben Shapiro, like for a roast, like because Ben Shapiro's just like, yeah, logically speaking, and you're just like, well, logically speaking.
I sound like Ben Shapiro if he actually didn't think weed was stupid.
Yeah,
if he thought weed was like
smoked.
Honestly, I could see that though. I do sound a little bit like Ben Shapiro.
I mean, you sound more like him than the average person. I'll say.
Yeah.
That. But at least I can stand to be around you and don't want to kill you.
Yeah, every sec. He was talking about like black. See, he just like does like black things because he was like talking about Black Panther the movie.
Oh God.
And he was just like, why do people think it's like and here's the thing, I don't think Black Panther is like a political fucking thing that it's a Disney product.
I mean, I haven't seen it yet.
It was a good movie. It was an entertaining movie. It wasn't like this important fucking movie, but it was fun and enjoyable. But he was like, why do black people have to feel inspired by a black superhero? What about Blade and Catwoman? It's like, well, dude, those movies bombed. Like, Black Panther made $1 bajillion.
Yeah, Black Panther became a national sensation. It's like, why wouldn't they take pride in that?
It's like, why do you have a problem?
He has a problem because he's racist. Like that's
why do you have a problem with black people saying like, oh, that's cool that there's a black superhero?
Like just the fact that they're happy about it. You're like, why do they have to find this inspiring? It's
why can't you just let people enjoy something?
Yeah, you're literally being, if nothing else, you're just a giant killjoy.
Yeah, exactly. Here, you see,
He's just a giant bummer, if nothing else.
here's why basketball isn't a real sport.
Yeah, right. Here's why Africa isn't a real continent. Okay, okay. Listen to me, Africa. Listen, there's 3 requirements to a continent. You have to have landmass, surrounding water, and you have to have a cold area. Now, Africa has no cold areas, and therefore it is not a continent. It's just a massive land.
You can't have animals in a continent.
Yeah, you can't.
He actually said in that Zuby interview with the guy, he was like, at a certain point, he's like, listen, and I know people are going to say I'm racist, but I think I love jazz, and jazz was created by black people. And it's like, what are you talking about?
It's like, dude, you might as well just shut up.
Go away.
Why don't you just masturbate on Zoom like Jeffrey Toobin?
Yeah.
That's right. We had another topic.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. We didn't just plan to shit on Ben Shapiro for the rest of the episode.
Although that would have been fun.
That would have been cool.
That would have been. I'm always down to show him.
Let's get back into
Jeffrey Toobin.
New stuff.
He was a writer
He's a
for
hero.
CNN and the New Yorker.
And he's a great inspiration and a brilliant American.
And hold on, Tom. You continue that thought. I have to go tell my parents something about when I'm going to pick up the dinner. So just to give people the rundown.
Are you fucking leaving me alone on the mic?
For like 20 seconds.
Oh, fine. Go ahead.
You can do this. I believe in you.
All right. God, I guess this officially makes me the longest running voice on the show. I'm the only one who's been on the show for 100% of it. Jack's basement literally is just like you could tell like his dad like jams with a band down here, and obviously that's cool. I'm not knocking his dad, but it's like just the thought that Jack never even touches any of these instruments. It's like dude, you can literally like you can learn to play like the fucking cello. Here comes this dog. Hey,
Louie. Hello, Louie.
I'm sorry, I just roasted you a little.
What did you say?
Nothing. More just that.
What?
You'll get to hear it.
Is anything good at least, or was it
not
more
really? It could have been better, honestly. It was kind of weak.
You mean your improv skills were weak?
Yeah,
this is unheard of.
Weak.
Anyway, Jeffrey Toobin. Here's the thing about that guy. I kind of sympathize with that guy a little, because like, not that I would ever do that, but like, I feel like we've all been caught in embarrassing situations before. But like, imagine just like how embarrassing that must feel to just be like.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't think of anything more horrifying. It's literally like a nightmare come true. But at the same time, it's entirely his fault.
Oh yeah.
But it's also just like if he really didn't mean it, and that's what he claims. His claim is that he didn't realize, like he basically told his colleagues in the Zoom meeting, like, I'm sorry, I have to step away from the camera and take care of a personal matter. And he says that he didn't know that the camera was still on. He was under the impression he had turned the camera off, which I'm not. Yes, like
he's a boomer.
I work. You might have to, you know, he's cute, but you might have to take him upstairs. Sorry, puppy.
Louie.
You're not Jeffrey Toobin, so you can't be on the show for that long.
Come on, Lou.
Go. And there he goes. But anyway, yeah, his claim is that he didn't know that the camera was on, which I can believe because I work in customer service and every day I have boomers coming to the store who need to fucking use their phones and they don't fucking understand how anything works, even if it's literally spelled out. Like, literally, like, these people give me their phones. Like, I'm trying to return something to Amazon, but I never returned anything to Amazon, so you're going to have to show me what to do. I'm like, well, you see that button that says return or replace items? And they're just like, what? What do you mean? And then they start, like, scrolling all over their phone.
They get angry at you because they can't figure it out.
They literally start poking their phone. They're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, sir, just relax, okay? There's literally a button that says return items here, retard. Can you see that?
And for them, they made the word.
And then this like ladies will come in and they'll be like, wait, did I do the right return? And then we're just like, do you see anything that says return? And they're like, I don't know this stuff. And it's just like, all you have to do is read directions. This is the thing. Like, I can totally believe that he thought that the camera was off. Like, let's say you're an old guy and you just minimize the Zoom window. I could totally see him thinking that he was good.
He doesn't know that the light says that the camera's on. But even then, here's the thing, and I get it. I have sympathy for people that are like technologically illiterate because we're old. Because I'm sure one day we might be the same way. Although it might be different for us because we were raised around technology, so we might adapt quicker than them. Right. But regardless of that whole thing, I mean, like, if I'm done with a, like, say, like, I have a Zoom class every Monday from 5:30 to 7:30. Like, if I'm gonna jerk off,
Just keep the camera at head level.
but also it's like, I don't need to jerk off as soon as the class is over. I can wait like a half hour.
Yeah, right. It's like I was thinking that too because I was
It's
talking
like,
to my
how much did you have to fucking go? Right?
yeah. Like I was talking to my mom and dad, and my dad's like, I feel terrible for the guy. Like everyone knows his personal shit. I'm like, yeah, but he was literally sitting on like a committee of people working on coverage of one of the most important election cycles in American history, and he paused it to take a jerk break.
Yeah,
Like he literally was
how
like,
could you get hard during that? Like,
yeah, right. I mean, honestly, I think he got off on it. Like he was probably like, oh, they have no idea, and everyone on the other side is like,
think about that. Somebody was like, so Joe, do you have those files that I sent you? Oh yeah, keep talking about the files. Like, how do you?
Someone's like, oh, it's like one of the women is just like, welcome to the chat, Jeff, and he's like, thank you for having me.
Oh my god, this is great.
Oh, it's good to be here.
But also, it's like you don't shit where you eat. Like I'll have my I jerk off in my bed, right? But I have my Zoom class right there at that desk every Monday. But I feel,
and you jerk off here.
And I jerk off, but I would feel weird to just like
touching the table where
touching
Jack jerks.
touching the Jack Shapiro,
touching the Jack juice.
But like,
The Jack
how could
Jack.
you? Wouldn't you want to go to like a different location? I would feel weird of like shitting where you eat.
I mean, it's also just weird to like. Hey guys, so we had a little bit of a weird technical glitch
That was
here over
weird,
at
man.
Podcast Orange. I don't know. I think Ben Shapiro might have access to like
He was
our
not happy.
electric board. Yeah, he was not happy with what we were saying.
Ben Shapiro, Dana Schwartz, and Ken Bone.
Yeah, I mean they were all pretty pissed, and they all came downstairs and
Imagine we start a
unplugged the mic.
friendship between these people, like a lifelong.
Yeah, right. Like we get like a big group text going. It's like, oh Ben.
It's like that movie, The First Wives Club. They're just all spurned lovers of ours now.
Yeah. But let's get back to what we were saying.
Oh yeah, so like I was saying,
Why didn't he go to a different room? Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go to a different room? Like, cause I work down here. I jerk off in my bed. I would feel weird to just be like, all right, I'm done working. Now I gotta masturbate. Cause like I'm thinking like Pornhub. I can't have it on the browser that's like right next to my fucking Malloy.edu browser.
Yeah, right. Like you're accidentally gonna type in a fetish search to your like professor's email and
I've honestly had like paranoid thoughts like, oh shit, what if I accidentally send that shit to somebody?
Yeah, right. Like you ever have like I used to save like photos of like hot women I was attracted to who I
Yeah.
knew. Sometimes if they were hot enough,
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'm not a serial killer. But and then it's like you go to like submit like a project. Like let's say to like an online submission, and then you're like, "What if I accidentally click one of like the jerk off photos?" Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like what if
I've had that same fear, and then I get like a
especially
fucking,
if it's like a girl in the class, like it's
Yeah, exactly. Or
It's
like,
oh, fuck.
or like if you ever do that, they do that on Instagram where you could save photos and shit.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered like what would happen if one day, like it just made it public so everybody could see what photos you've saved, and then like
Oh, God.
your life is over. You gotta change your name and move to a different country. It's
Yeah,
just like
right. It's just
there's
like, you
no
have to-
coming back from that.
You have to block everybody you know. There's nothing.
Everybody's
But
like, yeah. No.
regardless,
Here's the thing that
about Jeffrey, it's like it's just weird to me. Like I the fact that he took a jerk break during
Yeah.
such an important like
meeting.
It's like why would you not even like.
Do it before.
Like, also, why wouldn't you just wait till the end of the day? Like, that's usually
Yeah.
what I get it out. It's like days end, like everything's pretty much taken care of.
I usually
It's
do a
like-
morning
or
jerk.
mornings. Yeah, morning. I usually do morning and night.
When
I
you
like
wake up
to-
with a stiffy.
I like to do a little boner sandwich. Like, I
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
top the day and end the day with a good boner.
When you wake up and you get a nice hard one, and you're like, all right, I gotta. Because there's no better way to wake up than just having an orgasm.
Yeah, I mean, you just start the day nice and fresh and clear-headed.
And then and then like at the end of the day when you got all like, especially if like you're around in the public, so you see all these like attractive women, and now you got all this like stimulation in your brain, so you gotta get it out. Like I sympathize with Jeffrey Toobin for two reasons. Like one, like I don't want to shit on this guy too hard because I do think in society now we have this like sadistic impulse to just sort of laugh at people's misfortunes. And
But
it's
at
kind
the
of like
same
it's kind
time-
of like the Schadenfreude thing. We like to see, because we're not in that position. We're like, haha, you were from like now you have to. Now you're like, we like to laugh at people in embarrassing situations.
I think the thing is, though, with this guy's like, A, he's going to be fine. He's fucking rich.
Yeah.
And then B, it's also just like, this is something where it's like, it's totally like his fault, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even like let's say somebody found a laptop and it contains some personal information. And then it's like, it's some shit that's really weird and embarrassing. But the only reason it got out is because someone accidentally found your laptop. Right. Like, I feel really bad for that. This guy brought jerking off way too close to The Office.
Oh, yeah.
Literally to the point where they intersected. And that's his fault. Like,
'Cause-
I think about, like, at my job, it's a one-person bathroom. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's technically stopping me from just jerking off in there if I want to. There's two reasons I don't do it. A, nobody I work with is hot now. No, really, it's like, first of all, I can't even get hard knowing that I'm at work.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's just like, it's disturbing to like bring other people not, that close to your sexual like perversions. Like, even if it's just through video. Like, the fact that there was even a chance that they could have seen him, it's like, why would you do that? Like,
I mean, I've talked about this on the previous episode. When I worked at that office job, I jerked off at work a couple of times in the bathroom.
Well,
I don't want
Jack-
people to think I'm at my
look,
desk.
Jack, you're a better man than me. That's what I'll say.
I don't want people to think I'm at my desk like fucking.
I like how you didn't jerk off until you were at age 19, and then less than 10 years later, you were already way past everyone else. Like, you were literally like, you went from like new fish to like the most experienced athlete.
I caught up and then I surpassed people.
Yeah. You're
But-
like if like it's like kind of like when Dave Chappelle started doing stand up like right off the bat, like nobody knew who he was, and then you just like skyrocketed.
But he
like,
started
man,
really
quick.
young. He started when he was like 18.
True, yeah. So he started doing comedy before you started masturbating
that's
age-wise. Like,
Anyway, so but I get it. See, the thing about men, right? Men are just filled with cum. Like, we have to get rid of. We have to get rid of cum.
it's not
all
even
the
that.
time.
You just have like.
We get blocked up. You get like all fucking like. Brr. You ever get like a headache because you're like you need to jerk off and then like you just have so much fucking cum.
It's like you ever see fucking doubles and you want to fucking.
Yeah, it's like because
Well,
a guy.
I definitely I've definitely had like days where I'm just like.
I need to.
Well, because I just jerk off a lot to where I'm like, I always get that, like, I always have that itch essentially scratched. But sometimes you get to a point where, like, dude, like I've been jerking off a lot and have not had sex in a while. Like, I'm kind of getting pissed. You know what I mean? Because you're just like,
It gets
you have
boring.
these natural, because even if you could satisfy it with masturbating, though, like, you have a natural desire, like, you want to fuck
another-
somebody. Like,
Yeah, no,
even if whether you're gay, straight, or whatever you are, like, there's a natural desire to touch another human's body.
Because
and,
eventually
like,
it gets depressing. You're like jerking off. And you're like, damn, I wish I wasn't
or
alone.
it's just not even that fulfilling. Like, you come and you're like,
And you're
ugh,
And
that's
you don't
it.
even
Like-
have like you don't even have like a minute of like that felt good. You're just like, all right.
Yeah, literally. Like I remember thinking about when I first came, like, where like the first time when you're young, and you're just like, oh my!
It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, it's like you're going down like the typhoon ride.
You're like, holy shit!
Yo! Like,
What is happening? But it's awesome.
it's like you're in the opening, like that opening part of Doctor Strange where he's just flying through the fucking other dimensions. You're like, whoa!
It's like this is crazy.
And then, like, when you're, like, get to a point where you've just been jerking it for years, but you don't get laid that much, like, after a while, you just come and you're like,
yeah.
okay, I guess I have to go back to life.
And there's times when you're like, it's like when you're like, you're just doing whatever, and then all of a sudden you're just thinking, I gotta jerk off. And it's just like, it doesn't,
Yeah, right.
and it's just like an emergency. Like, that happened to me once when I was driving. I'm like, all of a sudden.
That sucks. Like, you're behind the wheel, you're like, fuck, I really want to jerk off right
Like,
now.
and then I'm like, now I just like stop, and you're just gonna get like angry at your cock because you're like, I can't jerk off right now. I'm literally behind the wheel.
Or you're Jeffrey Toobin and you listen.
And you're like, maybe I should just.
and you're
jerk.
like, maybe my cock is right.
I have a friend who told me that he jerked off while driving once, And
that is like, you could get so arrested for that. Like,
that would be the most embarrassing.
because it's
way
not
to do
even
it.
like just that, like, it's unsafe because you're not really focusing on driving.
No.
And then it's also just like if you're driving with no pants on, it's almost like you're trying to rape somebody. It's
Yeah.
like you're literally looking for a victim. Like,
Well, did you ever watch that movie Crash, where like these guys it's like a underground community of people that get turned on by car accidents, and so they get into car accidents.
yes.
And then
It's funny that show. There was a show called Drawn Together
yeah,
on like Comedy Central that
remember that.
spoofed that. And there was like
Okay.
a spoof where one of the characters only got turned on by car crashes. So like, what the other character is a superhero, and he would just cause car crashes to give her orgasms. Like, he would literally like cause like a 30-car pileup with like 1,000 deaths, and she's like,
this is great. I mean, it's like, here's the thing. I sympathize because like I said, you know, I don't want to. The guy's already, you know, faced a lot of shit. I mean, it is his own fault. He's a fucking dumbass.
I mean, I feel
And
bad
we all-
for him in the sense that it's like, you know, we all fuck up sometimes, and it really sucks when your fuck up is seen by everybody.
Yeah, because it's like when you're a public figure, it's like when you fuck up, like the newspapers, like imagine, like
It's
think
just
about
like
the
you
most
see like a
embarrassing.
title with your own face. and
Yeah,
it's just
I mean, like think
oh.
about like the most embarrassing slip up you've ever had. Now imagine that like on a national projection where everybody's reading about it.
Yeah, and
it's
people are like writing about you on Twitter and shit. and,
Jimmy
like,
Fallon's making jokes about you and shit. It's just like, it's like,
I
damn.
saw. The best thing I saw was OJ on Twitter.
OJ was talking
Right
about.
after, no, because right after it, he just made a video where he's basically just like, damn, Jeffrey Toobin.
Yeah.
At least Paul Rubens was inside an adult movie theater.
OJ's
It's like
Twitter's
even
great.
Jeffrey shitting on. I mean, even OJ shitting on you, bro.
See, I'd be like Jeffrey Toobin. If I was him, I'd be like, dude, you know, I masturbated, but I didn't do it after I strangled.
Yeah, it's like
somebody
I
to
didn't do it
death.
after I stabbed my wife 8 times
Yeah.
and then her fucking bartender.
At least I'm not a fucking murderer.
Yeah, but it's just funny how like it's like that's the society America has created, where it's like a man who got away with murder is now joining in on the
ridicule.
public roasting of Jeffrey Toobin
guy-
for jerking off.
a guy for jerking.
That's gotta suck to know that OJ is also roasting you. You're just like,
Yeah.
dude, like
does
everybody's
it get-
getting one. Like,
How does it get in? You know, it's like, yeah, no, but the thing is, man, I mean, like this guy eventually be back. Jeffrey, whatever, Toobin, he's gonna eventually, you know, or
I don't
not,
think they're
or he
gonna-
might just be like, I'm fucking.
I
done.
mean, he's pretty old. Like, I mean, he's not
Is he
old,
really that
old.
old?
I mean, he looks like he's probably in his 60s.
That's
I
not
think
that
he's old enough to where he can retire with the money.
Yeah, he's
he's
just
got.
like, I don't give a shit about this shit anymore.
Yeah.
What? How? Let me see what his name is. I typed in Jeffrey, and the first 2 results were Toobin and then Epstein.
That just shows a little bit about Jack's algorithm
Yeah.
there with Google.
He's 60. He's not that old.
Yeah, but I mean, he could probably retire with the money he's got.
See, this is a funny thing though, is that like there, like now there's outlets that are like defending him as being like masturbation is a natural thing, and then here's one article. I could tell this is gonna be a garbage article because it comes from USA Today.
Oh god.
And then it also says Jeffrey Toobin's Zoom call incident shows his white male privilege.
how?
I don't.
How would this have been any different if he was black? Like,
Well, let me. So here's what it's saying. What the fuck is he? There have been many moments in the last 18 years when I have said out loud, "Thank God, Mom is not here for that." My late mother, steeped in traditional Catholicism and modesty.
it's like, who cares what your mom sees?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
who
Catholicism.
cares what your shitty dead mom sees about anything?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. She subscribed to a religion that made money off of priests fucking little boys.
Yeah, it's like, thank God my mom, who is a strict Catholic and okay with child molestation, who didn't have to see this. Like,
Well, so he's really saying my late mother, steeped in traditional Catholicism and modesty, leaned pretty far right in her values and had strong expressions on what she considered moral and absolutes. You know, like all Catholics do. Jeffrey Toobin in a Zoom incident would have made her implode or close to it. That's what she would have been really angry about that. Towards the end of her life before she passed in 2002, she confused similar words when she spoke. One evening, my 3 sisters and I were in her kitchen on Ashland Avenue cutting up vegetables for a salad to serve at a family dinner. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, like, what does any of this have to do with anything?
Your life is not interesting.
What did Manny Cruz write this? It's like, what's the point of this article?
Fucking point.
It's like, I'm getting to it. So
you gotta understand.
Next thing is, this dog then walked up, and this bus driver came into the backyard. Now, this bus driver was somehow connected to the Yakuza. Let me explain.
Like, Jesus, every story.
Like, I don't even know where.
There's like a web. There's like a web where all these different connecting lines. Well, here's what his mother said. He said, "Wash those. There are orgasms all over it." She instructed, pointing to the celery stalks. Of course, intending to say organisms.
Orgasms. I don't know.
Fucking. Dude, okay, so what is not mentioned often is the inherent white privilege and sexism embedded in the defense of his action. What are you talking about?
Like, what did he say? Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know the camera was... I mean, here's the thing, like... Alright, maybe they thought that he could jerk off in front of a... during a meeting. Maybe that's a little bit like male patriarchy. You could swing that. What does it have to do with the white thing?
Yeah, and also, he didn't know he was in a meeting.
Yeah, right.
He thought it was done.
He thought it was over. He thought he turned the camera off.
Maybe you guys should have shorter meetings.
Yeah,
your
right.
fucking employees are so impatient.
Maybe you guys shouldn't take so long to get a fucking story out.
Yeah,
New York Times.
Your employees are so impatient. They're fucking cranking their yanker while you're...
Yeah, you fucking... Honestly, maybe if the job was more interesting, this wouldn't have happened.
But seriously said, but then again, a man's genitals are not deemed a threat, but a woman's breasts are.
See, this is like... Nobody's threatened by a woman's tits. The reason they're not allowed in public... Well, I don't agree. I think
they should be fine.
I totally think they should be allowed... Yeah,
they are allowed in public.
Loud tits in public, but yeah.
But they are allowed in public. This woman is saying that, like, she's basically saying that, like, people shame women for breastfeeding their kids, which is wrong, and you shouldn't do it.
I mean,
and most people don't agree with that.
I think if Jeffrey Toobin was a woman who got caught breastfeeding her kid when the camera was on, I don't think anybody would be nearly as freaked out as him getting caught
that's
masturbating.
Like the necessity. And most people don't shame people for breastfeeding. The people that do are mostly considered assholes by the rest of us.
Yeah, like, I think that's kind of like a weird thing. If you do that, you're weird.
Yeah, and most people don't have a problem with that.
But, it's such a weird situation.
What is saying, yet the New Yorker has suspended but not fired Toobin for the time being, and CNN says he is taking time off. It is his American white privilege and his maleness that protects him from what in other countries has stiffer consequences. Yeah, he should be castrated.
Yeah, right. Like we should go by the rules of other countries where masturbation is considered a mortal sin by the government.
Yeah. We should burn them at the stake.
Yeah, these people should be fucking tarred and feathered in the street. Like
human sacrifice. Well, they're saying, okay, in the Philippines and Bahamas, people have been fired.
Who gives a shit?
Why do we have to be like everybody else?
Why do we have to be like the Philippines? Like,
yeah, it's
okay. So you can get fired in the Philippines for it. There's probably some shit you can do in the Philippines that you can't do here. Like,
anyway, it's just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
it's just like fuck you.
Yeah,
honestly, I'm not one of these people that subscribes to like the idea of like the news is fake. I think that's all a bunch of bullshit. But I think when you write articles like this, you give people more fire.
I mean, it's not even fake. It's just not an article.
It's just stupid.
It's just literally not an article.
It's not fake news.
This is a blog. This is a blog. Like
it's an opinion. Well, it's an opinion piece, but it's just.
Yeah, but I consider opinion pieces. But whatever.
It's just stupid.
Yeah. Either way, I have been jerking off this whole time. So
have you finished it?
Nah, honestly, I don't know if I can get hard anymore. This was partly a test.
I thought talking about Ken Bone makes you want
to... I was almost there. I felt a little bit of a wiggle when Ken Bone came out, but...
You got a little bit of a Ken Bone.
A little bit of a Ken Bone, just a little bit. Anyway, all right, I think on that note, we might probably be able to call it. We're pretty far.
We're like an hour and a half, our usual time.
Anything else you want to add about Jeffrey Toobin and his penis?
No, we'll have other shit to talk about.
I think in conclusion, I'll say that I partially feel bad for him, but it is still all his fault.
Oh, yeah.
But I totally can see how he fucked up, and I don't think he's a bad
See,
God.
we have very nuanced discussions. We're great. We're the best podcast in the world.
No, this is the greatest podcast of all time.
No,
like
yeah.
Rogan had just had Kanye. Fuck that candy shop shit.
I didn't even
We're over
see
here
that.
talking
I
about
saw
Jeffrey
clips of it.
Toobin.
I like Joe Rogan. I know I've talked about how I like him. I've never watched a full episode of his podcast, but that's only because it's like, dude, it's 3 hours long. I don't have time to watch a fucking.
Yeah, nobody wants to sit there for 3 hours and watch Alex Jones get high with you. Like,
Yeah, it's like too much. I watch clips of it, but I'm like, I don't want to sit down for 3 hours and watch a fucking podcast. Like,
it's just too much.
we have the right amount of time.
Right.
You know, we're better than everybody.
We are the best.
Next week we're gonna have a guest on. Will I kicked my monkey Romero,
Well, I kicked my monkey.
and
This dude is a fucking degenerate.
yeah, we'll try to.
Yeah, Will will be on next week. That's the first guest we've announced ahead of time.
That's cool. We should do
Yeah,
that from
we're
now
doing
on.
that now. We're announcing guests. So yeah, we'll be here. Thanks for listening. Shit, man, we're getting down to the wire.
Oh shit! Go out and vote.
Yes, go vote. Go write in Kanye.
Yeah.
Do your American duty.
Duty. You said duty.
Duty.
I mean, vote for. I'm not gonna be like, I know you all know who I'm voting for. Vote for her. I don't give a shit. Just go out and vote.
Just vote. Just don't be a fucking loser this time.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all we have to say. Thanks you all for listening.